Hello there, and welcome back to episode 27 of my tutorial series for Dwarf Fortress. In this one, I am going to dedicate the majority of today's episode into breaching into the deeper layers of the caverns. Here we are on cavern layer 1. My plans are to fortify myself in a deeper layer today. So, since this is also a Let's Play series, there will be intermissions and things going in between that will not be part of the main topic, because that's just the nature of it is, but I will do my best to explain everything that happens so you get the best understandings about the day-by-day happenings in your fortresses. So, enough of the intro, let's get started. So, if you are longer here in the series, you already know this little vantage point that we've created here. So, technically, this could be our entrance point into the Caverns Layer 1. I have checked it out, and it's quite a funky little situation here. So we are sitting on the top of a tower-like structure. So if we browse down here, you check out these blue little thingies. So we are going to go downstairs here, and it's following. There's a slope that we can climb downwards, ever downwards. As you see here, it's only narrow ledges everywhere, and only as we are really, I don't know how many height layers we went down now, but down here it starts to open up just a tiny little bit, only to be, again, yeah, this is a very canyon-like caverns. So we could conquer that, but we're going to go deeper this time. The strategies that I'm going to apply would be working for Cavern Layer 1 and Cavern Layer 2. It's a pretty good general strategy. So we got down here at minus 84. I have that on a hotkey. I browse up the stairs for you a little bit so you gain your orientation back. We are right now basically a tiny little bit below the water level of the caverns that we already explored. Look, 2 height layers upstairs. We entered this area. So I did already a little bit of mining down here, and we had lots of up and down, and as you see here, we went like 15 height layers down like that. Today, I'm going to go for the big breach. So we're going to do here, the first thing we do, I hold down the left shift, and I scroll downstairs, so I go downstairs 10 levels, but also I want to do this with top-notch priority. We also gonna check out how many miners we got. We got 4 miners. When we're starting to dig that deep, it's always worth checking out how many picks you got in the stocks. I got 8 of them. So with 175 people at my disposal, we probably could go for, some extra miners. So let's see, I'm always looking for peasants. Those are the people that not really have picked up any profession yet. These are grade A blank slates, so to say. Okay, so we're going to pick up 1 beekeeper and an animal dissector, so we have a little bit more workforce for the upcoming things. So I'm now searching for the next layer of the caverns. So we're going to drill holes 10 stories deep at these edge points, because my goal is to find I want to drill a hole into the ceiling of the caverns so I know where I can actually set up camp. We will, during this episode, bring one of our new regiments here downstairs as guardians for the newly founded entrance to the caverns. As you see here, it really takes a while until the people are arriving here. This lies in the nature of this place. We are already damn deep down there, so it's taken a while. So we're digging ourselves through night, and you see, works the charm. If you are deep down enough, just scatter a couple of drill holes like I did here, and you ultimately will strike oil. So I'm going over to the eraser tool now, because we obviously don't need more staircases, because we seem to have found something already. So let's go downstairs and see what they uncovered. Wow, look at that. We've struck base. So I'm going to stop all the mining jobs right away here, because that actually went better than I imagined. So let's check out our environments. You see that blue cave moss down here? This is an indicator for the second layer of the caverns. If it's a dark purple, you are in the third layer of the caverns. So here things are basically the same as in the first layer, just more dangerous. Same applies to layer 3. So we're going to go for a similar scan here, and I flick upstairs and I'm instantly relieved. There is solid roof above our heads here. That means with just a few strategically placed walls, we will be able to seal off the entire area here and set up shop. So that's going to be the first things that we do. We set up some walls here, and I'm using stones that are close by, because this way our builders won't haul materials from miles away here. So here it's now really important that we take good care that we're sealing off any upstair case, any upstair ramp, anything that could mess our day, but looks good so far. So this will be our staging point for the caverns. So let's see. This one, that one, that one, and I think this should have been the last one, right? So here we got, it's a full circle now. Brilliant. So I'm going to carve out a larger portion of that immediately so we can start building up a room. Because the goal of what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to go for a deep cavern barracks, basically. We're going to have a squad of really well-armed dwarves here, downstairs, living here, and everything that might threaten our workers will be very quickly dispatched by these fellas. That's my personal go-to strategy when I want to expand deeper into the caverns. What I did here, wait a sec, give me a moment, I want to put this on a hotkey. I'm putting this on Shift F1, that's a, one of my standards. What I did here is a scaredy cat approach. With the military that we had available, we wouldn't have been necessarily, we didn't need to be so careful. Sorry for sometimes words. So we could have been actually more sassy, but since this is a tutorial series dedicated to absolute beginners, I'm keeping the thrill-seeking low. So we're carving out the majority of that stuff here, so we get some free space. There's a cave spider hanging around here, which is probably going to turn into a problem at some point. They can randomly bite people. That's not lethal. It's just they can ingest a neurotoxin that can hamper your motorical abilities. Yeah, it's like that. You can't get lifelong shaky hands, so to say, from that, and that's pretty shitty for military dwarfs. So probably have to do something about that. Okay, but the staging point is coming along nicely. The walls are almost finished, only 2 walls are missing. If you wanted to be super careful, you could also just station your squad down here in the meantime, but we're not going to do that. I'm pretty sure that all will be fine. So, last 2 walls need to be pulled up, or no, the last wall actually. There we go. So, and there's already somebody on the way. Good. So we are now on a pretty good path to get ourselves into the second layer of the caverns. But in all honesty, why stop here? So we're going to go and punch another hole into this wall here. And I'm starting to spread out myself. And we're going to repeat that same procedure just another time. We're going to dig down 10 stories deep, because I want to know where the third layer of the caverns is. Because, you know, the more the merrier. The thing is, the deeper you go, the more valuable the stuff gets that you will find there. So we went down 10 levels. Here I'm going to go for a little crossroads thing here, so I can do a scattered drilling thing one more time. So, but we're going to do another 10 stories downstairs right next to that. Good-o. So with these things set up, let's head back here. The last wall is done, so that means we're ready. We can go for the military setup. So I'm going to set up a couple of rooms here. This is going to be the barracks, and this is going to be the common room. So let's see, do I have blocks as a building material by now? Did I automate these? We got some random blocks, so that's displeasing me. Let's set up some regular blocks as a regular building material. So I go over here, rock, blocks, And now on the magnifying glass, I'm looking for a rock type that I got plenty of. So let's see. What's the environment made of here? Granite. So let's use granite as the standard rock type that we're going to turn into blocks now. That's a pretty decent idea. Going to disable the rock crafts task now, because I don't want to have all my rocks transformed into crafts anymore. So, let's round that up. This job is not complete yet. It's making granite blocks, and I want to have at least 300 of these. Thank you, folks. And we're going to store them down here for further building projects. So I'm creating a stockpile zone, bars and blocks, in blocks, and I'm going to allow only granite blocks to be stored here, so we'll have the building material for the deeper layers just available, just like we wanted to. Okay, let's check out how the drilling went. We got here another deep dive of 10 levels. Nothing obviously happened. I'm skeptical, so I'm drilling 10 stories deep on 3 different spots now too, because we just might have missed, you know. And then we just repeat that until we hit rock bottom. So since I've now assigned a couple of extra jobs here, let's head back to our workshops. So, you know, I got just 3 stoneworkers workshops. I think we could do with a few more. So let's set one up here. I know it's in the middle of the pathway, but I'd say deal with it. This fortress was a hot mess to begin with, and it's going to stay a hot mess until the very bitter end. So we're going to install now one door here, and another door here. So let's do a quick patch up and just smoothen that room, because that's just a very, very dirty, cheap way of beautifying the environment a little bit. Since our people will live down here, since this is going to be their barracks where they're doing their everyday stuff, it's gonna be quite important that this environment isn't the super ugly, scariest one. So, since we ain't got no blocks to work with available, I'm going to do the smoothing stuff here, and I'm going to allow the okay, stonecutters job is done by everybody. The people just didn't go downstairs yet. Okay, as you see here, there's a gigaton of blinking dots here, so I'm leaving the swarm of dwarves for a moment to their business. Sadly, nobody has dug a hole here, but I'm pretty sure we just need to go deeper than that. But you never know. That's why I'm doing a little bit of scattered probing. So once we got those military dudes up and running here, that will be a moment, we can access freely these areas. So let's do a little bit of a scouting, shall we? So when we go upstairs, we immediately see a new layer connecting up to that. There's plentiful minerals here like crazy. I mean, this is... With the tutorial world, it's just it's an extremely rich place. And here, red diamond cluster. This is super, super valuable gemstone. That's what we're going to go for soonish. Okay, so warm stone located. So this is a pretty good sign that we are on the right path. So the drill holes found magmatic action. So we're going to go then to a completely different point. Because, you know, warm stone can mean 2 things. Either there's magma right below you, or there's magma in your vicinity. We can punch one more staircase here. See, designators. Because, you know, magma won't burp upstairs or anything. We'll just see that this staircase is not usable. Okay? Okay. So we're going to punch holes into all these warm pockets here to see how things are truly going. But this staircase here seems to be also very, very interesting. As you see, it is a kind of a probing game downstairs here. By all means, what you ultimately want to avoid at all costs is to breach into a magma vein or magma pocket. That would be fatal for all the people involved, so you better don't do that, huh? But apart from that, it's it's just a lengthy process if you want to make it safe. So next steps, we're going to set on up some chairs and some tables. Like I said, those folks will live down here, and if you have these amenities around them, they will not go upstairs to fulfill their needs. It's pretty brilliant. So we're now setting up one stockpile zone for drinks. Found in the food tab, drinks, boom. Then we're going to set up another stockpile zone for prepared food, so folks can have their food down here. And also, super important, bring up one stockpile for mugs. Activate all, deactivate the entire type section, and activate goblets back again, so all the goblets that can be found will be stockpiled here. Congratulations, now we have a wonderful little chill out zone down here, which will help our soldiers to do their thing. Back to our soldiers. So what I want to do here is I want to relocate that squad from here downstairs to their actual point where I want to have them. So we're going to click that barracks here, and we're going to undesignate this room from them, so they ain't got no barracks now anymore. So the folks that we got here, we're going to relocate the smooth shields, and therefore we're going to go Shift F1 and over to this area here, create a new barracks, just like that, and assign the smooth shields to that. I'm doing training exclusively. Technically, you can let them sleep there and everything, but I made the experience that actually it's better to have a bedroom for your soldiers. They will sometimes go to their bed, have a sleep there, and be happy because they had an actual bedroom. Barracks, on the other hand, are really difficult to be made that beautiful that they'll enjoy their sleep there. If you have a bedroom for your folks, there's even a double advantage in that, because they get happiness bonuses if you are doing it good. They get happiness from the environment of their barracks, where it's beautiful while they're training, and they get a bonus for having their own luxurious bedroom. So all in all, only let them sleep in barracks if there's any really important thing to do so. And we've struck Caverns Layer 3. And we found a magma pool, and we found the Great Magma Sea. These things often come together. And we found a unusual volcanic wall studded with gems. This, my friends, is where we ultimately dip into the late game. So let's check out the expansive cavern here. So, okay, that's a bad pointer. We have to head back to our drill site. So turns out mining into that direction was the trick. Look at that. Would you think that? So, our other staircases, so this one is definitely going to hit the magma pools. This one as well. So we can already delete that designator. We totally see that this leads nowhere. Okay, so here you see that gem-studded wall. This, well, we're going to cover that in another episode, because this is what long-term players call spoiler heavy, and at this point we should better stay away from that. Okay, but on different news, we can now construct a wall at this point, and we better do that with some gray stone out of the environs, and we can now delete all these jobs, just as a precaution, not that somebody finds a crazy way to get there. Good-o. So we have finally caught up with all the areas that we want to catch up. Wonderful. So we have now explored basically all the layers a typical map has. Caverns Layer 1, Caverns Layer 2, Caverns Layer 3, and the Great Magma Sea. There is one hidden layer below all of that, which we will explore in this series as well, but let me just say, Caverns Tier 4, let's call them like that, are a place like no other, and you better be ready for whatever's coming your way. So, what I see here is that my military dudes are still not running there, so this is something that has happened to me quite often. They are still not designated to that spot anymore. It only stops when I delete that barracks because they are somehow stuck with the idea of living there. So now they should go to their new home if everything works out as intended. Let's see. So people are hauling the stuff downstairs there. So if that happens to you, a good fix for that is to put them off duty and disable them from all the stuff that you could think of. Then you just re-enable them, and now they should go where I want them to go. And a doctor's guild has been established. Now that's interesting. So don't tell me they're still training down there. No, they're not. Well, the way down here is really, really long, but look at them. Finally, they're doing their thing. So this fella here is not fully geared up. If that ever happens, it helps to go just into their screen and just press the confirm button. For whatever reason, this refreshes their routine to gear them up. And a glassmaker has claimed a workshop. Needs rough color, needs leather, so needs raw green. So yeah, this is a typical, really annoying situation to be in, because we now need a extra furnace to make the green glass he wants, because he's not letting me build anything at the green at the glass furnace in the first place. So I don't know if we have enough leather available right now, so we're just going to slaughter or some of our animals to make sure that the leather that this guy is requesting is definitely also hanging around here. Not sure about that, but leather gets automatically tanned, and now I just want to save this poor fellow's life by taking care of his needs. We got to gather some sand, but I'm also taking precautions by installing doors here. These doors can be locked, and if this guy's mission fails, we're just going to lock them and let him die in there. Because if a dwarf fails to create an artifact, he will grow either depressive, or he'll go into berserker rage and try to kill as many people as possible before his self goes down. Either way, if somebody is making a artifact and it looks like it does here, this is basically a bit of a ticking time bomb, because you technically, if you fail to do this, this person will be 100% sure dead, and he also might pull somebody else into the same situation. So there we go. But now we got a second furnace, so we can now collect sand. Boom. Somebody has picked up the job, and then we can make some raw green glass afterwards. And let's just hope that everything will go as intended. So our dwarfs are currently not here. That's because they were busy grabbing up their gear. But let's go back in a hot minute. As you see there, it is a ruddy long trip down there. That's a typical thing, and that's why it really pays off to put up some sort of a mini outpost down there. It really does pay off, because the lower you go with the caverns, the longer the commutes grow, and you know, that's just one of the most problematic things, is that all the jobs that you assign down there will take really long until they're done. And this is something you have to work around with. So, we don't stockpile enough doors. I don't like that. So let's check out our work order here. So I want 10 of these at all points. And I also want them to make more of these. Let's check out how the situation was with the beds. I also want 10 of these at any point, and I want them to, well, the work processing is okay. The most important thing is that the beds are lying around, or not lying around, or built up like that, because even if there are no bedrooms assigned, if a dwarf goes sleepy and he wants to sleep, he's going to grab himself the next best bed that isn't occupied by being a bedroom. In short, as long as there's a bed, they will go to sleep. They'll just not generate any good, happy thoughts due to the fact that it was their own bedroom, basically. So let's head back to our friend, the glassmaker, because I don't want to let him die. Would be a pity, because I personally think we should have pretty much everything we require to pull through the artifact request. And so we could now, of course, set up on the caverns a same situation there. Sorry, being sidetracked here. So caverns layer 3, we could do a barracks like that as well. That would work too. So here, what has happened is the collected sand got hogged by a different work order, as it seems. If you don't have a functioning glass industry, these can be really, really pesky dudes. These can be really, really pesky dudes. So there is sand around. Oh, I bet I have found the culprit here. They're not doing anything, not because they don't have enough sand. There's not enough fuel there, so we got to work around that problem. Oh yeah, so usually in most fortresses nowadays I run charcoal. We could do that here as well, but since we got lots of... where is it? I thought I had lots of fuel. Here, bituminous coal. We just need to wrap up that stuff. So, since I already foresee that our little friend here is in trouble, we're going to see how that goes in the long run. These are the problems when your fortress isn't managed well, especially the fuel pod. These are shortcomings on my side. Anywho, so we're going to go and start securing the perimeter now, for real. So we got here, there's tourmaline. High quality gemstones are things you will find down here a lot. Like, really, really a lot. And therefore, it's really worth breaching into the lower layers of the cavern. And generally said, if you have a well-trained squad with dwarves that have iron gear, you are totally fit to set your foot into the caverns. Just be careful with forgotten beasts. Some of them can really kick ass quite hard, to put it bluntly, and they can wreak havoc upon a lot of people here. So it's gonna take a bit of time until all haulers are realizing that they're supposed to get stuff down here. Like I said, the commute is very long, but as soon as these things are set up, this is a very, very powerful thing. So I'm going to assign this also as a dining hall. They won't get beneficial thoughts when they're drinking here, because dining halls are not made for drinking. But if they're taking their meals here, they're going to get beneficial thoughts, given the room is beautiful enough. So let's add in some engravings, shall we? So with this setup, by the way, we have now secured a foothold down here. So the only thing that I haven't done yet is we got to get ourselves an entrance and an exit. So that's what we're going to do here. So simple construction things. We're going to put up one bridge at every end. So here goes one bridge. And here goes another bridge. There we go. So what about those granite blocks that I ordered? Look at them. They're already down here. Wonderful. And now there's going to be bridges that we can raise. And this is the tiniest possible form of a airlock. So basically, what we're going to do here is very simple. We're going to hook up both bridges to different levers, and we can then open up. You know, we're going to be able to shut down one side of the entire construction there quite easily. The other thing that I love to put at the end of my airlocks is just a door, because doors can be forbidden, and that stops your dwarfs from going downstairs and skittering all over the place. Speaking about which, we're almost at the end of the episode. Therefore, one last really cool and important thing. Get on over to these standing orders and here make really sure that you have forbidden other dead, because otherwise stuff will be going bonkers down here. Also, if you are really careful, you might also want to forbid generally looting stuff outside. So something like this. This configuration makes it so that you have to unlock every drop that happens down here. Yes, but it also makes it so that your dwarves won't try to haul a dead Crundle's hand from somewhere down there because they think it's darn important. So I personally am a fan of very restrictive settings in that regard, because I personally hate it when all of a sudden there's a swarm of cheesemakers grabbing some stuff outside in the most perilous depths, and you're like, why are you guys out there? So that marks the end of today's episode. We have secured the perimeter here. As soon as we have linked the bridges to those levers, we are good, and then we can just start claiming resources out there, because basically if anything threatens our workers, we got the soldiers down here that, well, right now there's only one of them down here. Where are you guys? Well, you get the idea. Technically, it should be... Let's see. There. Are they still hanging around there? No. You get the idea, my friends. So, I don't know where my soldiers are currently scurrying around, but we're going to find that out. So, end of today's episode. I thank you so much for watching. We had a very good time here so far, and I hope you're going to join on the next episode, when we are going to go for... Well, I don't know if I'm going to go for deeper layer exploration here. That would be one thing I'd be really down for. But, well, let me know in the comments what you're most interested in, actually. That would be also very helpful. So, let's take a last look at our poor glassmaker. So, you are... Well, maybe we can save him, so... Anyways, I thank you for watching. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a subscription if you want to help out. And I hope to catch you folks on the next episode right again there. See you there. And don't forget that there is a playlist link down there that leads to the rest of these tutorial series if you want to check out the other episodes. So, have a good day and thanks for watching.